We sat down with you for an hour, and I felt like you opened up a door for us that will change our business for the next 6 months, a year. In an hour, bro.
Say alhamdulillah. You know, if you're not religious, no point in getting married. Going back to kind of when we used to do graphs, I never used to look at the bank machine. I never used to look at the store that it's in or the bank that it's in. I used to look at the buildings to the left and right of it, because those are the weak points, those are the entry points. So never look at the person. Some people who you think aren't reachable are reachable. You just need to look at the people that are around them. If someone offered you a Ferrari for 10 quid, would you buy it? So it's never the price, it's the value. So if you can add as much value as possible for what you're charging, it's a no-brainer. It's an offer that someone can't refuse. You know what's funny? All the world's criminals are in Dubai, but yeah, it's the safest place in the world. And the reason for that is because...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Gooms Podcast. 90% of you guys are actually not subscribed, so please make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn the bell notifications on so you can get notified every time we release a podcast. Enjoy the episode.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Gooms Podcast, episode 46 now.
Yes, sir.
We've been working, man. We're coming up to that year. We've got a special guest today, Khalid Louis. Would you like to introduce yourself, man? Let everybody know a little bit about what you do and yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Khalid Louis, and I'm an entrepreneur, although I don't actually like to use that term. I'm more of an investor, and I seed startups, I invest in real estate, and I'm an agency owner.
Congratulations, man. I mean, it's only, we've probably spoken like properly face-to-face and stuff like that for probably about 2.5 hours max, maybe 2 hours. And the amount of knowledge that I know that me and Chris have walked away with has been second to none. It's been like amazing. Genuinely like a clean-hearted guy. You guys are in for a really good episode today. I mean, a place where I know that I'd like to start, and I think everybody will find it interesting, what was upbringing like for you? What was that like for you growing up in Sheffield, in the UK, and then eventually getting to your story where you moved to Dubai and everything kind of changed for you?
Okay. So to tell this story, I'm going to have to tell the story before the story. So I'm half Irish, half St. Lucian. On my mother's side, the Irish, English, Catholics. On my father's side, the black Christians, and I'm the Muslim in the middle. So my granddad and a lot of his friends are all kind of first generation IRA and bikers. So they were crooks growing up. My dad's side is kind of the same. So naturally, growing up, I was always going to kind of fall into a similar lifestyle because my dad wasn't really around. So I was raised in an environment where I couldn't kind of really be who I wanted to be. Do you know what I mean? So it was a bit of a tough upbringing, definitely humble beginnings. I'm from a place where if your house alarm was going off when you returned home from school, it meant the electricity had gone. So yeah, definitely humble beginnings. And a lot of people don't know about me is that when I was 13, I actually got a scholarship, but I didn't take it.
Where at?
To Birkdale. It's an all-boys private school in Sheffield. And I was in numerous programs. Say again?
For what? What's the scholarship?
Just because I had kind of a high IQ as a kid. I was very academic when I was younger, and I boxed a lot as well. But then there was a turning point in my life where we literally went flat broke, and my behaviour kind of declined. From there, we moved to the Manor, which is the council estate where I kind of grew up. And I just fell into a life of crime. So I never took that scholarship. By the age of 16, I was locked up for an armed robbery. I received.
Were you like influenced by other people? Was that by you?
Not really. This is the thing. So,
but you were influenced by your situation.
Yeah,
really?
yeah. So this is what happened. So at first, we lived in a decent house. It was bought. Then the man that my mother was with, he'd tricked her and he'd left her. He'd left her for another woman, but he'd also signed. He'd been remortgaging the house behind her back, and he'd made her sign a document that kind of signed for half of the debt. So we lost that house when we was younger. My mum and my brothers had to leave that home and move into a council house on the estate where all my cousins and my family and stuff were. And and that's kind of where it all kind of went downhill. Before that, I was just a kid that went to school and went boxing. I kind of stayed away from home. But then obviously because there was no money and you wanted things as a kid, you wanted the trainers, you wanted the nice stuff, you were seeing all your peers kind of having everything, and you was coming home and there was literally nothing but microwave chips in the cupboard. I kind of just had enough. I just wanted my mum to be all right, innit? So I started grafting at an early age. And my mum always used to say I was either going to be a banker or a bank robber. And she wasn't wrong, because I kind of did both in some sense. But yeah, so I fell into that life. I was locked up at the age of 16 for armed robbery. I got out from that sentence at the age of 18, so I'd done a year and a half out of the 3. And it was very difficult for me to kind of find a job after that, because I did want to go straight after that. I tried everything, but because I also had a firearms ban, I couldn't join the Marines. I wanted to join the army as well, because I couldn't find a job. So I thought, what am I good at? Well, I'm courageous, I'm fit, I'll join the army. Tried that, didn't work. So I kind of fell back into the life. I got better at what I was doing, but obviously life got worse, because when you do a deal with the devil, he pays you up front, and everything's good and you earn money, but you also kind of lose a bit of yourself. Do you know what I mean? And then one thing led to another. Before you knew it, I was burgling cash machines, doing high level armed robberies. I was living in Spain. I was helping people move things around Europe. I don't really want to touch on that, because I never kind of got pulled in for it.
I can see when you talk about these things, it's like it sucks the life out of you.
Yeah, it does now, because
the energy.
we're supposed to one was supposed to conceal our sins. This is the first time I've kind of spoke about it in a long time. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to move on with my life.
Yeah.
So like, in the films where all the guys are doing jobs, and halfway through the film there's that one guy that kind of walks away from it all, just before they're about to do the big job at the end. He walks away, walks off, says, I've had enough of this, takes his money and he walks off. That's kind of me, and then everybody else goes on to get caught in the end. Yeah. But the movie never follows the story of the guy that kind of walked off. But I'm that guy, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I kind of, I'm not really proud of it. Before I used to be proud of it. I used to think I was the fucking bollocks. Sorry for swearing.
It's cool, you can say what you want on the pod.
I used to think, honestly, there's nothing I've not seen, there's nothing I've not done. Like, you name it, I've seen it, I've done it, I've been in it. So it just doesn't kind of impress me anymore, do you know what I mean?
What did those years inside, what did they do for you mentally?
It was all character building. So this is the thing as well, like I regret some of the things I did in regards to kind of operating with good intentions, but I don't regret my life, because it made me who I am. And when I walk into a room, it could be full of the world's most violent, it could be a room full of centimillionaires, and for some reason everybody just wants to get to know me. And that's just because of how I know how to kind of navigate the dynamics of situations, people. I can see things coming that most people can't. I can see the good in the bad in the good. I can kind of zoom out and I can see intentions at play, and that's from being in jail. Having your wits about you, do you know what I mean? Also kind of, when it comes to kind of like mental resilience, there were days that like most men would crumble from like some of the bad news that I'd receive whilst I'm behind the door. I couldn't do anything about it. But I just used to do bare peas and read books. And that's kind of what got me through.
Quickly, for everybody that's listening home, what was your favourite book that you read whilst you were there? Because I know that I need to start reading. I need to pick up a book.
I
feel like I know your answer.
There's so many. Obviously the Quran, but...
Yeah, that's what I was going to think.
Yeah, but in terms of kind of power books and things. The Art of War by Sun Tzu, 5th century BC, that's a really good book. The Prophet by Khalil Gibran, it's not about the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. It's a book about philosophies, and it consists of multiple philosophies, and it's kind of written in poetry. That's a really good book. And in business terms, out of them all, forget the books about systems, the best book that I've read is Fanatical Prospecting.
Okay.
The best, hands down, the best business book I've ever read.
I've made a promise to myself, like whilst I was over here. I've kind of after speaking to a few people, seeing it, like I actually need to make a commitment to read. I have to. I've never finished a book in my life. I'm a little bit ashamed about it when I talk about it now.
I read just shy of 40 books in 52 weeks.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but you've got time. You've not got nothing but time. And to be honest, that's kind of what got me through as well, like developing my mind, because I've got no formal education. Because again, although I had a high IQ and I was academic in school, I got locked up, so I didn't get my qualifications. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I never managed to go on to like college, university, or whatnot. So everything that I know is self-taught. And that's kind of what's got me by.
So you had that switch at some point throughout your time inside. What happened and what was it like when you first came out and you're like, right, okay, I'm a different me now? So
there was 2 points in my life. The first point was when I reverted to Islam. So I reverted to Islam in 2015. In 2015, I was arrested for supplying firearms. It was alleged that my friends and I had got hold of a database of all the owners, information on all the owners of firearms in the UK. And a ton of them went missing. And we got nicked for supplying quite a few of them. But I always knew that I was going to kind of beat this case. So I'm in the nick, and I was training because I knew I was going home, and I used to box. So training away, and on the wing there are officers that are kind of racist, they're ex-military, and they don't like to see you happy or doing anything that you shouldn't. So they had a problem with me training. So this one day an officer came up to me, started on me, he's like, you think you're a big man and whatnot. Anyway, he swung a punch, I uppercutted him, chinned him, got battered by a few of them, got taken down the block. So the block is a segregation unit, it's isolation. And within every segregation unit in the country, there's a cell within a cell, and it's called the hole. And it's where they put you if you're a threat to staff. So I'm in the hole, and my property came down, so all I had was my books. So now I'm buried alive. I'm in a cell within a segregation unit within a prison. No visits, no phone calls, no gym, just me and my books. So I'm reading away, and then after about a week, they came in again. We had a bit of a wrestling match, and they took my books. So now I've got nothing. And the reason why they did that is because every time they come in and checking on me, all I'm doing is burpees and reading. And they saw that it wasn't getting to me. So in revenge for their friend, they wanted to kind of poke me again. So now the only books that they can't take by law are religious books. So when the librarian came around the next day, I actually picked up a book, the Old Testament. Then I read the King James Bible. Then I picked up the Seerah. Then I moved on to the Quran. And at that point, an imam came down, and he was on his monthly rounds. So he came down, and we had a conversation through the crack of the door. We started to have a bit of a religious debate, and then he came down again and again.
Was he not allowed in the cell?
No, at this point, no. And after a while, they let him in my cell. We became friends, and long story short, months later, I took my Shahada. So when I got placed back on the wing, I was learning the practicalities of Islam, so I was learning how to pray and whatnot. And I became close to the Muslims, to the brothers. A lot of my friends, I taught a lot of Albanians English.
Can I quickly ask something? Obviously, I can't say I'm the most educated about Islam. Is the Shahada like baptism, almost, when you convert?
Similar. The Shahada is the declaration of your faith, that there is only one God. And you believe in one God, and you'll follow. You
fully commit to the religion.
Yeah,
it's your full commitment.
So it's your full commitment. So, in that time that I'm kind of learning the practicalities of Islam, how to pray, how to wash, just how to carry yourself in general, I became close to the Muslims, because before that I was very ignorant to Islam. Like anyone who's in the UK, a lot of people don't know. It's a beautiful religion. It's very misunderstood, and a lot of Muslims get a lot of hate because of how the media kind of portrays it. And it was the same in prison. A lot of the officers, they hated the Kurdish kids at the time. One of my Albanian mates, like I said, I grew close to the Muslims. I was teaching a lot of Albanians English at this time. They thought that he was Kurdish one day, and one of the officers slapped his food out of his hand for no reason whatsoever, and I had to watch it on the floor. The only meal that he was getting that day. So I gave him my food, and I looked at the officer. I had loads of encounters like this over those few months. So by the time it came to taking my Shahada, they gave me a nickname which stuck, which is Khalid, because my name's actually Louis. Mm-hmm. But Khalid actually comes from Khalid Louis, which was a great general in Islam. He never lost a battle. He was always kind of firm. And because I used to kind of stick up for the Muslims, no matter what, that's why I was kind of named Khalid. And it stuck. So yeah, I changed my name legally to Khalid. So that was the first point in my life when I reverted to Islam. But there's a big difference between reverting to and embracing Islam. So when I got out, I fell back into it. I was active for years. I was in Spain. I was in the UK. I was doing all sorts. But my intentions kind of got a bit better. But I was still a bit. I still didn't have as much as a conscience as what I should have had, because I still used to kind of do things that, looking back,
you regret.
Yeah, they'd probably stop me from getting into heaven. So, yeah, and then a couple of years ago, this was the second point, I went back. So I went back, there was a guy who was stalking my ex-missus at the time. She was a big influencer back home. And he was getting a bit weird. He was threatening to acid attack her, threatening to do all sorts. Like, just being a dickhead. And yeah, she wanted to speak to the police, but I don't talk to the police. I think she actually called them and they didn't do anything. They left him at large for like 7 months. It was just being a dick. And then when I bumped into him, I never went looking for him, ever. And I could have, but she didn't want me to. And when I actually bumped into him, I hit him and he hit his head off the floor. And his heart stopped, but luckily there was an off-duty paramedic there at the time. Kept him alive. He lost a lot of oxygen to his brain, so he ended up in a coma. And what happened was murder squad came for me. So every single door, every house that was ever associated to me, every door came off. I lost money, watch it, you name it, they rinsed me. And I got locked up and my head fell off because I'm thinking, if this guy dies now, I'm fucked. Do you know what I mean? And because I never intended for it to happen anyway. And luckily survived, alhamdulillah. And yeah, it was a bit of a tough time, because although I'd acted morally in the right way in my mind, I knew what I'd done was wrong. Do you know what I mean? Because I didn't want to cause that kind of level of injury. Do you get what I mean? He didn't deserve to kind of be in a coma for the rest of his life. He just deserved a smack. Do you know what I mean? In my mind, there's things that warrant shooting someone, and there's things that warrant just giving someone a clip. Do you know what I mean? So it was weighing heavy on me at the time. And during that year, because I only ended up getting a year because I got it dropped to a lower count, GBH, section 20, because there was no intent that I actually intended to cause that level of injury. Mike Tyson couldn't say that he can hit someone one punch and kill him. Do you know what I mean? Or potentially put him in a coma. So in that year, my dad died, my second mum died. One of my close friends growing up got stabbed and killed. My best friend got lifed off for shooting at the kid and the kid's mother that stabbed my friend. So I lost 4 of them people.
Wait, this is all whilst you were in prison?
So whilst I'm in prison. And at this point, I've lived the life. I'm kind of already out of it. I'm back in jail. I'm surrounded by these people I don't really want to be around. And then all this happens, one after another. They just start dropping like flies. And it's during COVID. I can't have no visits. So I can't really get no comfort. Can't have my mum come and see me or anyone. And
what was that like for you? Lonely?
Yeah, but the thing is, at this point, my religion, my faith was growing again. Yeah? So I knew that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I knew that He was with me. So I some nights I felt lonely, but a lot of the time, I just used to remind myself and keep my chin up, do you know what I mean? And then, so that happened. And then when I got out, I found out that the girl that I was in for protecting, the girl that I was with for 4 years, had been disrespectful, and she'd been spending a lot of money, and and wasn't willing to kind of accept that it was for her. Do you get what I mean? So she blamed me for a lot, because a lot of her business got backlash. She had a bit of fame off the fact that it hit the papers. Do you know what I mean?
You said she was spending money, your money, right?
Yeah. And so I got out. So now I've lost 5 of my main people, because the last person that I thought that was kind of a bit of support for me got out, realised they were wrong. And so for about a year I was partying, messing about. I was probably moving in the wrong circles again. But and just knew it wasn't for me anymore. Do you know what I mean? And one day I was sat with my mates, and we always used to sit at this cafe in the morning. Everyone's fucking phones are on the table. They're all grafting. I was sat with my mates, and I'm looking at them all, and I'm thinking, why are we still doing this? Like, we don't need it. Everyone's got dough. Like, I've had it, lost it so many times. I'm not arsed anymore. Yeah, and then that's kind of when the penny dropped, and I started praying more and more, and then I just kind of made a promise to myself that I'm gonna kind of knock it on the head.
Was it literally just like a one-day switch, and you were like, okay, that's it?
One day,
different person.
One day, I swear, one day I stopped drinking. I stopped smoking fags. I stopped partying. I stopped crime. You name it, everything.
All the bullshit you were doing.
All the bullshit. So, like I said, you do a deal with the devil, it pays you up front. It's very quick, but there's no barakah in it. There's no blessing in it. It comes and goes. And I don't know one gangster that's ever lived to the age of 60 without either doing a shit ton of jail or ending up on the run. Do you know what I mean? But when you do a deal with God, with Allah, He'll pay you at the end, but it's everlasting. And that's what I'm noticing now. So it's a lot harder to kind of operate in this world when you come from that world. But it's not. But it is in the beginning because you're so used to it coming fast. You're so used to just turning over dough. Do you know what I mean? Getting going in business, you have to be resilient. So yeah, I kind of knocked everything on the head, and that was it. I never looked back. And what I noticed was that the more that I prayed and the more that I kind of operated with good intentions, opportunities just sprung up like water in the desert. So in the last year and a half, I've probably had more movement than a lot of people that have been in this game for 5 years. Do you know what I mean? And that's just because I believe in the prayer. And also, all those years that I was doing that, even when I was bringing money home and stuff, not once did my mum ever tell me that she was proud of me. And recently I had a phone call with her, and she said, "I'm proud of you, son." It was a great weird moment, because I never heard it.
How did it feel? How did it feel?
Nice. All right, yeah.
I'm proud of you as well, bro.
It's all right, innit?
So you made that move to Dubai. When did that all happen? So the switch happened, and then you just started. Did you start working on the agency, and then you were like, okay,
yeah.
The UK is not for me.
So I moved here this year. I've been on and off for like just over a year, back and forth, every month. And then I became a resident around 5 months ago, but I was already operating here. And it's the best decision that I've ever made, because 90% of the soldiers that went to Vietnam tried heroin. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Soldiers. And when they left Vietnam, none of them took it again. And the reason for that is because they were no longer in the environment where they was taking the drug. Yeah? Now, when you take a heroin addict or a crackhead and you put them in rehab, they'll stop taking the drug. But then when they go back to the environment what they were in before, 90% of them relapse. So that shows that it's the environment that kind of dictates who you are. Yeah? Remove yourself from that environment. I'm not talking about drugs, because I was never on drugs. But remove yourself from that environment and you remove the problem, innit? You remove a large portion of the problem.
That environment for you was
where I'm from, because this is the thing, even though I was straight, when I land back in the UK, my phone blows up. I have 20, 30 phone calls. Can you sort this out? Can you sort that out? This has gone missing. That kid's run off. Please, we need your help. Like, I don't need it anymore, because a lot of the people that are kind of idolised where I'm from can't sort things out themselves. They were never that guy. Do you know what I mean? And I was always that guy that used to kind of handle everything. So yeah, so that's what would always pull me back in. So yeah, moving to Dubai was definitely the best decision that I ever made. Also, it's a Muslim country. I don't know one mosque in the UK that, when it comes to Jummah, there are rows and rows of people lined up ready to pray outside in the car park in the scorching sun with your feet burning, dedicated. Do you know what I mean? So there's definitely two sides to Dubai. There's the side that everybody sees, that it's a bit overrated, but then there's the beautiful cultural side of Dubai. And from a business kind of perspective, everyone's one phone call away. Your network can blow overnight, yeah. It literally has.
It's one thing that I've found. I mean, we've only been here for about 3 weeks, and the amount of like interesting people that we've met, even like yourself, that just one conversation, everybody's like, it doesn't matter who you meet. They're like, oh, bro, let me grab you, let me grab your number, let me grab your Insta, let's stay in touch.
The perspective changes as well.
Yeah, so there's a reason for that. So like most of the residents of Dubai are not Emiratis, they're expats. So everyone that comes here is coming looking for opportunity. So everyone's coming with an open mindset to network and to help each other, to add value and to receive value. So everyone that you meet will most of the time help you. There's no gatekeepers here. Like in the UK, there's gatekeepers, especially in London, those kind of places. It's a bit different up north. Everyone's a bit laid back, chill. But in the more populated cities, like people stay in their own lane. They've not really got time for each other. You come here, I swear, one day you sat drinking in coffee in Costa. The next day you're having a conversation with a centimillionaire. Swear. One day you're in the gym. The next day you're speaking to the portfolio manager of a billionaire. Happens overnight.
I said it to my girlfriend. I said, I actually said it to you a couple of months ago as well. Luke Belmar said it once. He said, you need to have a mentor, you need to have a co-worker, and you also need to have a mentee. And we've never had anybody that is a lot further ahead of us in our industry that says, I did that, it worked, I didn't do that, or I did that, it didn't work, don't do that, etc. We sat down with you for an hour, and I felt like you opened up a door for us that will change our business for the next 6 months, a year, in an hour, bro. And we have never found that ever.
Say Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
So
that's something, that, bro. That's something that we can't thank you enough for as well.
Honestly,
like, it's genuine love. It was genuine love that came for you, bro. And not, I mean, in the UK, anyways, there's not many people that you'll find that will be just genuinely want to help you.
Gatekeep.
I'm gonna drop a gemmy. I'm gonna teach you something. So I want you to take this away. If you can take anything away from me, take this away. So in this world, whatever you give to the world, you'll receive. You'll get it back. But what most people don't mention is that whatever you take from it, you must also give back. So, for example, if Allah gives you money as a man, you need to give it back. It's a test to see what you'll do with it. Because He tests men with money to see what they'll do with it, and He tests women with beauty to see what they're going to do with it. But that also kind of applies to energy. So never, ever borrow energy from someone that you're not willing to give it back to. And that's something that I kind of live by. So if I can't offer people money, I kind of offer them my time and energy, because the more people that I help, the more it will come back in this life or in the afterlife. So yeah, always just, it costs nothing to help someone. A bit of advice.
That's what I always
say. If that bit of advice can change that kid's life and give them a head start that you wish you had when you was 22, I'm sure that God will return the favour. Do you know what I mean? So kind of just always operate with that intention. Don't like block people. Don't not help people.
I hope that this time next year we can come back to Dubai.
I was about to say, we will return the favour, bro.
And it kind of applies to women as well. So like, never borrow energy or borrow happiness from someone that you're not willing to give it back to. So don't try not to sell like women dreams and stuff. We've all done it. All men have done it when they're younger. If they say they haven't, they're lying. But just bear in mind that everything is given, and that includes people that come into your life. So always kind of appreciate it and show gratitude. That is the formula. Just be grateful for everything. No matter what, good and bad. If something bad happens, we say Alhamdulillah. Something good happens, we say Alhamdulillah.
I think when we first started the agency and like I kind of like could step away from the family business and stuff like that, I was like so incredibly grateful. It was mainly like when I got in my car in the mornings, I was like, today, like I'm working on my terms, and like I'd really be so thankful for it. And like I'd almost get a bit emotional. I'd be like, shit, like I did this. Like we're here now. Like, okay, it's me versus the world. Like let's conquer it. And I feel like I lost touch with that a little bit as things got like a little bit more routine in terms of the business and what was happening.
That's because you're a visionary.
Yeah, because things weren't growing the way that we wanted to. So it was like, oh, okay, same shit again. Let's just keep chipping away.
Natural. Happens with us. So in every kind of organisation, in every business, you've got three main characters at play. So you've got the creative. So the creative is the person that kind of the person that's kind of will handle the branding, the person that creates the and paints the picture, the one that kind of handles all the marketing, anything kind of creative. That you'll have that character at play. Then you've kind of got the ops guy. So that's the person that kind of mops up. If things go wrong, they're always ready to mop up. And they're the ones that kind of keep the ship afloat. So when you've got the creative working with the ops manager, usually they'll produce good results. But then you've also got the visionary. And that's you. Both of you, I'd say. And the visionary is the person that kind of paves the way for the others to follow. They're the ones that kind of they like to kick it off, get it going. They get excited about getting things going. They get excited about movement.
Excited. That's what last week. That's the best way for it. When we left, we were excited.
You get excited about movement. Creatives get excited about creating things. So especially when you've got a creative agency, if you're not keeping it creative for the guys, they'll get stale. They'll get bored. Yeah. So creatives get excited about creativity. The people that kind of are rigid, they like systems. The ops people, they get excited about everything flowing nicely. They like to piece things together and have it all run. And the visionaries get excited about movement. So if movement kind of dips, it's naturally that your mood's going to dip because you're not exceeding your expectations. Do you know what I mean? But it's just natural in business. You'll have flows, you'll have the good days and the bad, but you just need to say alhamdulillah, move forward, and figure it out. That's your job. Your job is to figure it out, enjoy the journey. It's not going to be easy. Anything easy comes easy. Like I said, you do a deal with the devil, he pays you up front.
I was literally just about to say.
This life is not supposed to come quick. Life was never meant to be easy. Like everything in life is a test. This is all a test. There's a reason. Everything is written. So me being sat here with you and you being sat here with me, it's written. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. So me speaking to you is washing away some of my sins because I'm helping 2 kids out. Yeah. You being sat here with me is enabling you to achieve what you want to achieve. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. To then be able to help as well.
Nothing is by accident. Nothing. I'll tell you why nothing is by accident as well. So, did you know that in 10 generations alone we have 4,096 grandparents? Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
It's a fact. So in 10 generations we have 4,096 grandparents. So it's taken on average for us 3 to be sat here in 10 generations over 12,000 people. So 12,000 stories of people meeting each other, love, having children, and life stories. Now, given our differences in backgrounds, I'm half St. Lucian, half Irish. You guys are Cypriot. We're sat in Dubai. You're from near Birmingham. I'm from Sheffield in the UK. Mathematically, that is it's improbable.
Absurd.
Improbable. Yeah? It's near enough impossible. So for us to be sat here having this conversation right now, would you not say that it's fit?
It's a lovely way to look at it.
I was just going to say that perspective.
It's mathematically near enough impossible. So it has to be Allah. Mm-hmm. So everything is written. This whole conversation is written.
I actually really like that perspective. And I've never, ever looked at
having
a conversation with someone new like that.
It's a fact. Do you know what? And that's the tip of it. Like, when you actually add in like the kind of the factors that 7 billion people in the world and how many times it takes to get someone pregnant, the amount of sperm it takes to get someone pregnant, to actually create us guys, given the differences in our backgrounds, like it's literally mathematically impossible. Mm-hmm. It was written.
I want to pick up back with the story. So you moved to Dubai. How far along were you with the agency?
So when I first moved to Dubai, I was working with my friend's company, and I didn't have the agency at this point. No, not when I first moved to Dubai. Sorry, before I moved to Dubai, I didn't have the agency, and because it's fairly new. But yeah, I was already operating within the realms of marketing.
Sorry, quick, was the agency the first business that you had, and you were like, "This was the one"?
No. So I've had recruitment agencies. I've exited those. I seeded a football agency, left that to my friend. I've had interests in like takeaways and things back home, small things. I've got real estate back home, real estate here. So yeah, so a lot of it was just kind of to siphon money. Do you know what I mean? But when I first started taking business seriously, it was only this year. Mm-hmm. This is what I'm saying. The traction that you can get in here, a lot can change in a week. A lot can change in a week when you start to take it seriously. So I came, helped my friend with his business, and then I fell in love with Dubai. I bought a house off plan here. I then went back to the UK, sorted out a few bits, came back again, invested further, went back to the UK, came back again, seeded this, and now we're growing at the rate that we should be. And opportunities, like I said, are just springing up like water in the desert, not even with just the agency, like in everything. Money's coming in from so many different angles, and that's because of the network that you can build in Dubai. Do you know what I mean? In real estate, in finance, in politics, you name it, you if you want to reach someone, you can reach them. Yeah.
I wanna ask you. So, it's just come to me. Like it's almost like a. I mean, we didn't really start the agency because it was like a trend. It was something that kind of just fell on our lap. I suppose like we both like doing YouTube. We were like, oh yeah, YouTube is such a sick grind, and we taught ourselves how to like edit and make videos, and then that kind of stemmed into, okay, we can earn money from this like now rather than waiting and doing all of that stuff. But it's almost like a trend. Do you think the trend of having an agency is actually worth it? Because now for those kids that are coming up, all you see everywhere is, you see the ads on Instagram. It's like, scale your agency to 10K a month.
You see it because that's what you're interested in. Mm-hmm. If someone's interested in drop shipping, all they're going to see is drop shipping.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
I see that stuff.
It's the algorithm's pushing it to you, so now you feel that it's saturated. And the only reason why you feel that it's saturated is because your movement's kind of slowed down. But no, like like I said, if someone's interested in Amazon FBA, that's all they're going to get shown. If someone's interested in OnlyFans, that's all they're going to get shown. If someone's interested in SMMA, you're going to start receiving so much content, especially ads from coach providers. Mm-hmm. How to scale your agency, because obviously you're the target audience. Yeah. So no, it's not a trend. There's enough pie for everyone to kind of have a nibble. For example, in Dubai, there's a population of around 3.6 million. The footfall's 14 million a year. Out of that, there's 665,000 registered companies in the UAE, and that's growing. Those numbers are due to double because of the plans that they've got for Dubai. So there's a lot of pie. Yeah. You know what I mean? And out of that 14 million footfall, hundreds of thousands of people descend upon Dubai that are creators, because it's the second largest creative hub outside of LA. Everyone comes here to take photos, influencers, creators, you name it. So there's a big pie. It's the same in the UK. It just depends what niche you're kind of positioning yourself in. So yeah, don't worry about that. Don't worry about it being a trend. But what I would say is that in any market, you've got a monopoly, and then you would have an oligopoly. So the first mover always typically takes the most market share. They usually move quickest, and they dominate. And then the second mover kind of comes in and looks at what they were doing, and kind of looks on how they can change the product to solve a bit of a better problem. For example, eBay was the first largest marketplace, yeah? Amazon comes along, looks at what eBay is doing, for example, yeah? And says, we're going to do that, but we're going to do deliveries. Became a unicorn company overnight. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, and then the market gets saturated with everyone else that's doing it. But just what I'd say is just pick a niche and stick to it and be good at it. So when we created Mina Creative, we looked at the fact that in Dubai, there had been over 580 billion in property transactions done last year. In Dubai, yeah? So
580 billion.
Billion.
That's crazy.
Billion, yeah? Fact.
In 2022.
Yep. So, and I think that's off the back of the Ukraine-Russia kind of thing, because a lot of people have, like,
a lot of Russian money came here.
Usually,
right?
it typically was around like 450, but yeah, there was a surge anyway. So what we saw was that it's a lot of money. There's a lot of flow, and if you can position yourself in that flow of money, you're going to make money, because to sell a property, you need marketing. So it's a big market in it, and we saw that no one was kind of offering the service that we're offering, the kind of 360 solution from listing media to social media services, content creation to ad creatives, ad management. So we're kind of the go-to one-stop shop. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, look for a niche, position yourself well in a niche, and just hit it hard. Because you've got the same 2 eyes, 2 hands as anyone else. You've got the same brain. You can achieve what anyone else can achieve. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? If anything, it's better that there's 2 of you. There's only 1 of me.
Yeah. I mean, Hormozy actually said it. I love Hormozy. I'm an advocate for his like content. Like, he's helped me so much. And he said it is like, why would you offer a service where you just solve one problem? You want someone to come to you and you solve that problem, and then it's okay, we solve the next problem that occurs, and the next one, and that's how you can
an ecosystem.
Take it, yeah,
an ecosystem of services. So yeah, you look at Amazon, they've got the Amazon Marketplace, Amazon Prime, Amazon TV, Amazon Web Services. When you kind of fall into their funnel and you become a customer of one service, but then because it's convenient for you, because you've got an account, you'll then use their other services. That's kind of what we do here. Mm-hmm. We'll use lead magnets and things to pull people in. to using one of our services, and then we'll upsell the rest. But it's not really an upsell because we know that they've got the problems that we need to solve. Do you know what I mean?
What type of lead magnets do you use? I know that that's one thing that a lot of people
So when I created this studio is a magnet itself. So we'll offer kind of walkthrough sessions. We'll teach people how to create content for free. We'll get them in. These are people that are kind of content creators in Dubai. Maybe they've wanted to start shooting a podcast. Maybe they just want to shoot content that kind of deliver to their audience and add value. Influencers, local celebs, you name it, they've all been in. And we'll get them in, shoot a bit of content, and we show them how good it is. We show them what they can achieve. We show them how, with the content that we can kind of produce and a bit of social media management, how we can kind of scale their audience and actually create an audience that converts into clients if they're looking to sell something, especially real estate agents as well. Because Mina Creative operates at an agency level, but all the individual agents in Dubai are on commission, and they want to increase their personal brands. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. So they want to sell. They understand that attraction and marketing is probably the best way to kind of acquire leads. Yeah. So they want to position themselves as thought leaders as well. So we use this space to get them in to have meaningful conversations like this on camera, help them deliver a bit of value, and they get addicted to it. Mm-hmm. And we just literally solve that problem, and then we'll upsell onto retainers that kind of handle everything.
Just
like full 360 solution. Yeah. But they're happy to do it because of the value that we add. The price always reflects the value. It's not a sell. For example, if someone offered you a Ferrari for 10 quid, would you buy it?
Yeah.
All right. So it's never the price, it's the value. Mm-hmm. So if you can add as much value as possible for what you're charging, it's a no-brainer. It's an offer that someone can't refuse. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? And you can definitely do that in the UK.
How would you do that?
Me? What if I was you guys?
If you want him to be saying that on camera, because we're going to go ahead and do it.
Is it just to any, even if it's that 18-year-old, that 17-year-old kid at home that's just going to get started?
Depends, because I like to go big, me. So, again, in the UK, anyone's reachable as well if you know what you're doing. LinkedIn's a very good tool. Firstly, what I do, I could tell you, I could forget real estate, right? If you want something a bit exciting. So what I do is this. I'd get a VA, for one, a bit of donkey work, you don't want to do it. I'd get a VA to kind of compile a list of all the football agents and celebrity agents, anyone that kind of manages a celeb, music artist, high-level influencers, footballers in the UK. I get them to kind of, all their handlers, get me a list of those people. The names, the numbers, the emails, the LinkedIn profiles. Yeah. Then what I'd do is I'd get them to do a bunch of cold outreach and just initiate conversations with these people. Then I'd get them on the phone. Yeah. Offering the services that you're already offering. But instead of targeting businesses, you're targeting high net worth people that need it, that want media teams. Mm-hmm. And you're selling the fact that you can turn these people into Hormozis, Luke Belmars. Yeah. So that's what they all want.
And you'd grow people's personal
There's four
brands.
kind of factors that kind of motivate people. Finance, family, fame. Fame's the third one. And recognition. So when these people are already kind of famous, they've got to keep up appearances, aren't they? They need media teams. They need videographers to follow them around, editors. They need social media managers to handle their accounts and engage with the communities.
What differentiates fame and recognition?
No, fame and recognition is the same thing.
Oh, right.
I'm just explaining in different terms. So yeah, so me, if I wanted to do something a bit exciting, I'd do that. The reason for that as well is because you're going top down. Sorry to interrupt you.
It's right, all right. I'm here to listen, bro.
You get 2 or 3 big clients, decent names. That's all the testimonials you'll need.
The rest will come.
I've worked with this guy. I've worked with, for example, Carl, you just mentioned Hormozi. So my friend Carl Welsh, he's German. He handles all the CRO for Hormozi, website backend. Mm-hmm. That's his biggest testimonial. When he closes clients, he's the guy that optimized the conversions for Hormozi. He's the guy behind Hormozi. Mm-hmm. My other friends, the guys behind the Tates, all they have to do is drop these names. That's it. Everyone and anyone's work, and the dog is working with them. Mm-hmm. So I'd go top down. I get some big clients, and it's not hard to acquire. The thing is, the reason why I'm saying go for the handlers is because going back to kind of when we used to do graphs, I never used to look at the bank machine. I never used to look at the store that it's in or the bank that it's in. Yeah, we used to look at the buildings to the left and right of it, because those are the weak points, those are the entry points. So never look at the person. Some people who you think aren't reachable are reachable. You just need to look at the people that are around them. Do you know what I mean? The people that will enter into a conversation with you, i.e. the managers, because it's their job, and the agents, it's their job to seek opportunity for their clients.
I've never looked at it like that. That would be such a good way for us to get podcasts.
I'm telling you now. I'll pull up my LinkedIn in a second. I'm connected with half of the C-suites in football because I helped my friend build a network in football through LinkedIn. It's easy. You can do it, I swear. That's what I do. I go top down. I get the testimonial. That's what I do. Unless you wanted to stick to that kind of real estate marketing or something, I'll just pick a niche. But if I were you, I think something exciting for you guys, that's what I do. Personal brands. Focus on creative services for...
I feel like the content for personal brands is a lot easier than going and doing anything else.
And mate, you guys are good looking, like, you're funny.
And how many experiences will you get from that as well?
Yeah,
as opposed to just going and shooting a property.
I promise you now, you can, from building a network like that, and instead of using attraction marketing, just literally getting the list together and firing it on LinkedIn, guarantee you'll get a client this month. So you only need one decent name.
That happened. And I'm looking at it as podcasts, being able to link up with these guys and sit down and have a conversation. I mean, that's my favorite thing about having the pod is like we get to sit down with guys like you and have an interesting conversation.
And chop it up. Instead of the studio, we've got the conversation. Where we could offer some value and then upsell.
You can do everything. Do you know what as well? A lot of networks intertwine. So, for example, let's say you are targeting ballers, yeah? Target the kids in the academies first. Target...
for instance, Ronaldo Jr.
Yeah, target the kids in the economy. Target.
Guys on the come up.
Don't go for the Prem players first. Like, go for people like Sheffield United. They're very accessible. Do you know what I mean?
You're a Sheffield United fan.
If I was to follow football, I'd be a Sheffield United fan. But I don't follow football. I think it's a bit gaily. People running around in shorts and falling over. I'm more of a boxing fan. But yeah.
Aren't they in shorts and falling over as well?
Yeah, they get knocked over, don't they? They don't dive. They don't dive.
Fucking with you, bro.
But yeah, that's probably what I do if I was your age, because you've got all the years in the world. Don't forget, I kind of started when I was like 28. Do you know what I mean?
What about the guys that are in your shoes right now, and you're looking at the next 5 to 10 years? Where do you take everything?
Where do I take everything?
What do you do in your position now? You've just started the agency. You've exited numerous different businesses, and now it's like, okay, setting up this new agency, we're taking it to the next step now.
Oh, you! Yeah, you. I know you're looking at yourself right now and you're thinking, why am I not subscribed to the Gooms Podcast? Just f***ing do it then, because it helps the boys out more than you actually know. Peace.
So for me, I want to scale this to $1 million a month. I remove myself from it.
Yeah.
That's
completely systemized.
And then from there, alongside that, build my personal brand so that I can start selling knowledge online, create my own kind of course, a bit like what Hormozi's done. Have your own proven track record and then help others. Because
would you want it like a course, or would you want it like a school? Like Iman's got, where he's got like the teachers that work under him and they help you like every week you get one-to-one and stuff like that?
The thing is, it starts, the stepping stones to it. So first would be releasing an ebook, then a small course, have a proven track record, and then move on to that. So for me, it's more about helping others. I never started this for kind of money. I did it because I really do want to impact. At first we said we wanted to impact 1 million people. But then I said, let's target businesses, because within businesses there are tens and hundreds of millions of people. And the end goal is also to kind of create a tool, a marketing tool for agency owners to kind of use to automate the work and scale within our niche. So to teach people how to create real estate marketing agencies everywhere in the world. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, just help others grow, because I think that there's more blessing in that. Because there's only so much money you can kind of make once it gets to a certain point. I've seen it happen with my friends. I'm not there yet, but I know that I will be. And I think that if I just focus on grafting in the first half of my life and spend the second half of my life kind of giving it back, remember what I said to you, what you take, you must also give back. I think that I've got good stead to kind of get into heaven. Yeah.
I want to, so one thing, I wanted to ask you this earlier, but I didn't want to cut up your flow. In terms of like, so there's systemizing, but then you said about like, even like if you were to follow someone around and like, let's say you were their personal videographer or something like that, how do you systemize something like that? Because one thing that
you're talking about replacing yourself in
yeah, because when you replace yourself, no one's going to do the work how you do it. And a client's never going to be satisfied if they're not going to get the same level of attention or attentiveness or quality of work from when you're doing it, or you send Jerry down who you've just hired
you don't send him down. So it's an I do, we do, you do system.
What do you mean?
So first I'm doing it.
Uh-huh.
I build a relationship with you.
And you let the client know that this is how it's going to run from the start.
Yeah. So okay. I'm going to handle you and get you popping. Yeah. Get your business popping. We're going to get you firing. Right. In not so many words. Then you're going to bring in Eamon. We're going to do it together. Eamon's going to work on a few projects with us together to see exactly how you work, how you like things to be done. And I can manage it all at the back end. So I'll do it, we'll do it, and he'll do it. I do, we do, you do. He can then watch you and see how you work.
And then the client has the trust as
over a period of time, and then and it's a handover.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That's wicked. Something else that I wanted to ask as well. I thought, what's your motivator? You haven't told us this yet.
Yes, the whole time.
Yeah, that and so my brother got run over when he was 9. He's 20 now, 21. He's got the mind of a 9-year-old. He's got the mind of a baby. He's got epilepsy, severe epilepsy. This is another reason why we kind of went broke, because my mum couldn't work and stuff.
Sorry to hear that, by the way.
Yeah. So for me, at some point, my mum's going to pass away. Hopefully not anytime soon, inshallah. And at that point, the kind of responsibility is handed over to me, where I cannot work. She cannot work. She can't work. Like every minute of her day has to be focused on him.
Have you always felt like you've had the responsibility?
Yeah.
From a young age, and that's why you kind of fell into everything?
Yeah, and this is what I mean about making mistakes, because although I thought I was providing for my family, when I was in prison, I wasn't there when she needed me. Do you know what I mean? So I justified it in my mind with the money, but it was never right. So yeah, at some point the responsibility is going to be handed over to me, and I need to be in a position where we're just chilling. He can just be with me all day. I don't need to work. I don't need to hire help. Because the last thing I want is for him to like have carers, go into care. Yeah.
This one man, I always say to my old man, there's no, like, cause he'll always joke around with me, but like, you better not put me in a care home.
Siblings. Are you siblings? You're not siblings, right?
No.
We do. We've got younger sisters.
So now imagine that. It's your younger sister. Could you cope with yourself running off into Dubai, into the sunset, and living your dreams, and knowing that some random is taking care of your disabled sister at home and you don't get to see her?
No possible outcome.
And my brother's keeper. He's coming with me.
Do you regret what you did, or do you feel like it? Because I'm a big believer that everything that happens in your life teaches you a lesson, good or bad, whatever you do. Do you regret what you did?
I've come to terms with it. It was the will of Allah, so everything is written. It wouldn't have been different if I'd have thought differently anyway. It was meant to be.
I was just about to say, do you think you'd be of such strong faith if you didn't do those things?
This is what I'm saying. I probably might have not been Muslim. Yeah. Alhamdulillah. Things happen for everything is written. Everything happens for a reason. And like, yeah, it's definitely given me like traits, qualities like within my personality that other men will never ever get. They won't get it. Trust me. I can feel it like when I'm in rooms with people. I can see people when they're like they're not it. Do you know what I mean? They pretend to be it, but if something came around the corner tomorrow and smacked them in the face, they'd crumble. They'd probably hang themselves. They've not got it in them. So yeah, it definitely gives me strength. And knowledge as well. Come on, I've got no qualifications, no GCSEs. I learned everything that I know from within an 8x4. Everything. So it's like you have to see the light. Well, and this is another thing as well. To appreciate the light, you must have first lived in the dark. Most people take things for granted. I don't take anything for granted. This
is something that I say. It's like the way that I say it is you kind of appreciate the sunshine without the rain. Yeah. I don't know. You have to have bad times to be able to appreciate good times and good things that will happen.
It's a fact, 100%. Like some people, when they're in situations that they probably wouldn't want to be in, like they can't live. Like you could stick me in Algeria, and like in a backwards village where there's fuck all, no luxury and nothing, and I'd enjoy it. Most people they wouldn't be able to handle it. They wouldn't cope.
Do you feel like you're chasing a simple life, but you're getting tied up in all this busyness?
I feel like the end goal is to have a simple life. Yeah, I enjoy it when I kind of get time away and I can kind of just chill. I've done it all this superficial shit. I've done it all this like champagne lifestyle, all the birds, all of.
I was going to say, when you were in the life,
Done it all,
that's
mate.
where you were throwing all the dough, though, no?
I've done it all. Had it, lost it, my arse. Done it all.
Were you
Seen
in,
it all, done it all.
Were you in the moment? Did you find yourself in the moment a lot of the time? Like, what am I doing here? Or was it really just that one
recently.
day in it?
That was recently. Before, no.
At the time, you thought you were the guy.
Yeah, that was only recently, and that's just because when you put on the magic glasses, they come with rules. You'll never see the world. You can never take them off. You'll never see the world again as it is. And when I kind of put them on, I started to see everything differently. This is why a lot of my friends now are like-minded people like myself and my friends and my family. I cut off so many of my old friends because they couldn't see what I could see, and I feel for them because they didn't listen, and now they will shall not learn, will feel, and now they're seeing it. Do you know what I mean? I can kind of see things for what it is.
We were similar. I mean, probably not to the definitely not to the extreme of you, but we were young. We were working in family businesses, putting in hours, but getting 500-600 quid cash in hand at the ages of 16, 17, 18, because we worked for it. But we thought we were the shit. So on a Saturday, we'd stroll into Selfridges thinking we were the boys. Go get a t-shirt or whatever it was, thinking again, we're the boys.
Chasing funny.
Yeah, and
something like that.
And we'd be the underage guys in the club that would go and we'd flex on everybody thinking
and
we
we'd
were
get
so
bottle shows
hard.
and we thought we were the shit. And we look back now and think, fuck him.
How many people were there as well when there was good times, but then when there's bad times, they're not there? How many of those people were not even in your phone book, but they wanted to drink with you?
To be honest, my head goes straight back to my birthday in Bamboo, and we had 25 people on the table, 4 of them, which are in our group chat now.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. People are always there for
excluding
the good times.
me and you, innit?
People are there for the good times, but they're not there for the bad times. Trust me.
I'd say especially one thing that I know that I found was when I really was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do my own thing. Not to say that I wasn't grateful for what my dad provided for me growing up. Like my dad came from nothing in Cyprus, and just built everything. Like I'm probably the generation that, not to your extent, because I mean, you're there, but like what you'll do for your son when you have one is like what my dad did for me. Like I'm that generation, and my dad had basically everything set on a plate, and Chris's old man, like everything on a plate, and we were like, no, like let's go do our own thing. And everybody's like, oh, you're crazy. Like, why would you do that? And it's like they kind of see that things are. Not even because from the inside we know that things aren't really going crazy, but to the outside everybody's like, "Whoa, you guys are killing it!" And it's like mindset switches quickly when it
you are
that
killing it.
Perception.
You are killing it though. Just because you're not getting the movement of what you feel you should be getting right now, you're learning. I guarantee you now, you're going to look back at this in next year, and you're going to be absolutely flying. I guarantee it.
Hope so.
So I promise you. I actually promise you. So yeah, you've heard the term, haven't you? Like. Strong men create easy times create soft men, soft men create hard times create strong men, and that's kind of the cycle. But there's a way to kind of break it. So like when I'm at a point that I feel like I've done all right, I've got enough money. When it comes to my kid turning like 20, I'm going to make sure that he's got enough information. I'm not going to give him money. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to pass him information. So I'm going to make sure that he's got enough knowledge to kind of navigate the world as I would. Do you know what I mean? Because I think that if you just give them, this is what we do it for. Obviously, we're going to do it for the next generation. So when we have kids, that's what we're doing it for. But it's how you kind of pass it down. Do you know what I mean? Because if you just kind of spoil them, or just do it for them for your own satisfaction. Yes, I've given my son all that, or I've given my daughter all that. It's for your own satisfaction. You're doing it because it makes you feel good that you've provided for your kids. But you've not really provided anything other than the money. But if you give them the knowledge if you feed them on a fish, they'll eat for a day. If you teach them how to fish, they'll eat for life. But also, if you teach people how to kind of operate with good intentions, they'll do a lot better, and they'll learn from your mistakes. Do you get what I'm saying? So for me, that's kind of what I'm going to do when I have a child. I'm not going to treat them when they do perform a chore or a task. I'm going to treat them when they learn a new skill. You get what I'm saying?
I think one thing that I always say, I'm grateful for the way that my parents brought me up, and I tried so many things growing up, but when I could had a mind for my own, when I had a mind of my own and I could do anything that I wanted, more freedom, I just tried everything. And one thing that I know that I want to do with my kids growing up is I want to every weekend I want them, not every weekend, but I just want them to try absolutely everything that even just tickles their fancy the slightest, so they can learn what they actually like. It's like on the way here we saw a clip in the cab, and it was like, how would you expect a 16-year-old to know what he wants to do for the rest of his life? Like, it's absurd. Like, I think that's the most important thing that not enough people do, is like they put this pressure on their kids to, oh, you have to be able to know what you're going to do, what job you're going to go into, what business you're going to start, whatever it is. But they haven't tried anything. You have to try absolutely everything. And it's like, there'll be that one thing that will just click and you'll be like, okay, this works. I enjoy this.
So what do you like?
What do I like? I enjoy creating from like a young age. So when I was in year 6, like, entrepreneurship was always there from my old man. Like, I always saw him grafting away, like very different entrepreneurship to what we're all in. But he's a grafter, like fish and chip shop, morning till night, 6 days a week if you needed to, like a grafter. So I used to see that, and like, I was like, okay, I just always said that I wanted to make lots of money. But then the creative, like, I used to like paint Lego men. I was interested in Lego, and I used to paint them, and the kids used to come into school. They'd tell me what design they wanted. I'd paint them and charge them for it. And like all through school, I remember we shot a music video as a joke for this kid. Like, we wrote like a fake rap song, and I was showing like people that were older than me this music video. They're like, this is all right. I was like now when I look back, I'm like, okay, like I was decent at all of these things, like just creating. And entrepreneurship, we were two like 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds, and we'd go sit in the back of a coffee shop, and we'd be like, oh, what business can we start? How do we do this? Like, we used to be like...
I'll never forget when we went and sat in a restaurant near us called Hambal, and they revolutionized burgers in Worcester, a small town. And we'd
they're like a global renowned burger shop now. Like, they were on like America, this magazine.
30,000 followers on Instagram just because they do sick burgers and cool cocktails. And we'd sit in there and we'd be like, what do you reckon these guys are churning maybe one day? Like, we were 14, 15, like sat saying like, we're going to have one of these one day. Because that's what we thought we were going to go into, because our families were in food.
Yeah.
And we thought, well, let's do food, but let's do it 10 times better. Obviously, growing up, everything to do with brick and mortar businesses and the accessibility that we have now to make money on the internet, that changed. But from babies, bro, we hadn't even sat our GCSEs yet, and we were thinking, how are we going to make a £30,000 a week shop? Like,
I used to argue with teachers at school, like, about how, like, I don't want to go uni because I don't think it's going to.
Yeah, I don't think that they teach people.
I think it depends what you want to go into, though.
I think as long as they teach you the basics, but I think they should teach people how to be financially literate in school. They don't teach people properly. They don't teach you how to kind of escape, do they?
Can I throw the question back at you two? What tickles your guys' fancy? What interests you? Genuinely, both of you.
Go first.
To be quite honest with you, I grew up, I loved football. That's why I threw the shorts joke back at you earlier. And I was pretty good at it, but I was lazy. So I didn't achieve anything in it. Weirdly, I love results. I don't know if that is a thing to love. I love saying that I'm going to do something and doing it.
Facts.
Like, I love being able to... It might even come down to the simplest thing of, like, the other day, I was in a taxi and... Sorry?
Unique sports group. It just came to my mind going. Student agency.
And I was in a taxi, and the taxi driver was really down. His energy was low. I felt it. And me and my girlfriend had just come from Aura Sky Pool. Had the most beautiful day. Watched an amazing sunset, had some great food. And we were on a high. We got in, and I felt his energy was low. Brother, you okay? We're stuck in traffic. He's huffing and puffing. He said he couldn't speak. He was stuttering. My brother died today in my country, and he couldn't afford to pay for his ticket to go and send him off. And my whole body just went, energy got sucked out of me. I was on a WhatsApp with H saying, bro, I've got an idea. I've just checked for him to go. I can't remember where the country was, but it was £250 for a return. I text H, I was like, come down to the lobby. Let's do this for this dude. We paid for him to go send his brother off from the business. And a grown-ass man cried on my shoulder, bro.
Yeah, it's nice.
That I met 10 minutes before. And I felt so fulfilled to the point where I texted my mum and said, can I call you? I just did something amazing. Like that, I love that feeling. And it was a grown-ass man that I met 10 minutes ago crying on my shoulders, and I felt so fulfilled. And I said, brother, God bless you. And he was, sir, you're so kind. You know what the taxi drivers are like here.
That's the fourth motivator, fulfillment. So when I said finance.
And you said the two at the same one.
Finance, family, fame, and fulfillment. So helping others. A lot of people are motivated by doing charity work, helping others because of the feeling what it gives them.
We always say that. Like we went on a desert tour and just our tour guides were amazing. We were like, we wish that we were breaded. Just like here's 10K. Just go enjoy yourselves for a bit.
That's what it's about. I swear, like that same. Bro, imagine that. Imagine being able to like travel Africa and build mosques and build schools. And help people out, like really severely change people's life. You know, when it comes to your deathbed, do you think you'll be scared of dying? You won't have a fear in you. You will not have a fear in you because you will know that you will have done enough in this world to enter heaven because you will have genuinely helped other people.
What interests you, bro?
Everything.
It's a good answer, though.
I'll tell you what. I'll talk about the reason why I asked you what you like, because in life we're given a gift. Everybody's given a gift. Did you know that? And the gift, some people call it talent, but mainly it's kind of what you're good at and what you like to be good at. And when people don't live their lives through their gift, what you tend to find is that people are unhappy. So, for example, if your gift is in being a creative, do you think you could sit and punch in a 9 to 5, sat behind a computer?
No, that's why I didn't.
You couldn't.
I felt lost for so many years, and like I said to my mom, like I'm gonna do this family business thing as like an in between until I find something. I found it, and I was like, okay, this is what I do now.
You couldn't do finance. Now you take someone from the square mile who's good at finance. That's what they love. They love numbers. They love being able to flip money and make things happen. You take those guys and you put them in a creative role, they'll fucking hate it. So yeah, we should always live our lives through our gift. So whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you as your gift, whatever He made you good at, live your life through that. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now. So I was always in that life and in this. I was always good at making a place. I was good at piecing things together and making it happen, the impossible. Some things that people say, you can't pull that off, that can't be done. We'd do it. We'd come back with a big bag of money. Do you know what I mean? And it's the same in this game, being able to piece things together and make it happen. So yeah, what I'd just say is just do what makes you happy, do what you like to do. Never give up on it. Never give up on it. Trust me. Never give up on it. Keep going.
I think one thing that I didn't say is fitness, man. I'm a fitness fanatic.
I've seen. You've actually made me want to start running.
Since I was like, the first time I went into the gym, again, like it ties into like giving back. Like there was this, I don't want to be nasty about, I don't know if he listens to the pod or not. He might do, because we bumped into him and he said to me the other day, like he's killing it. But he's quite big, this guy at school, and like people would take the piss out of him for being big. And I just wanted to go into the gym. Like I was like, looks fun. Like I'll just start training. And I was like, come on, man, let's go in. Like let's get you in some shape. And like I just started training from 13, and like I was just hooked. Like I absolutely loved it, even from a young age. Like I used to draw pictures of bodybuilders. I'd be like, yeah, this is cool. This is how I want to be. Like now I don't want to be like that. It's not functional at all.
I do.
Do you actually?
Yeah, I used to be ripped like you. I need to get it back.
No, do you want to be like a big bodybuilder?
I just want to get back to my old athletic self. I think because I've been so busy this year, I've kind of not let myself go, but yeah, I've let myself go.
I think it is hard. One thing that I've noticed about Dubai is like,
but there's no excuse. I need to time block it in. So on Monday.
Yeah, you have to be a priority for you.
I think one thing that I've noticed about Dubai is like in England, I don't know whether this is just because our routines changed whilst we're over here, but I feel like everything's like a couple hours behind. I don't know if that's like the mall doesn't open till 10.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, all this stuff. Like I feel like everything's a couple hours behind.
So then we're still early back home.
It's chill, yeah.
It's 1 o'clock. We've woken up. We might have gone to the gym.
So
had
Dubai's
lunch.
alive at night. Don't forget.
Yeah, I was just going to say that it's more chill.
Yeah, true. That's another thing as well. Climate.
Arabs live by night.
What fitness do you enjoy?
So I
said
like
you used to
boxing, CrossFit. That's kind of my thing.
And burpees.
A bit of weight. Bro, I swear burpees, mate. I swear by them. I
hate them though.
People hate them, but I love them. I love being able to put. Honestly, anything that kind of takes resilience and pushing through, like I love it.
Well, I think it's that guy that ran the whole London Underground. He said this quote about running, but I think that it relates to all fitness. But the best way to compare it to drugs is like, so drugs make you feel good in the moment, but terrible afterwards. But he says it for running, but I think it's all fitness. Fitness feels terrible in the moment, but amazing afterwards. Like you can't beat that feeling of going and doing a hard workout. You get addicted and then you feel good.
Once you're rolling again. Like you get addicted after 6 weeks in the gym. That's it. It's hard for you to drop off. It takes something to kind of come into your life to kind of prioritize for you to drop off. But I think it's highly addictive, me.
You feel like an animal as well.
Yeah, you do. You literally like you're tensing up in the mirror on slide when your missus isn't. know what I mean?
I think one of the thing that's
I'm
important.
an animal.
I think one thing that's important with fitness though is by like I found myself getting lost. Well, I found myself getting lost in it, where it was the same thing for like 6-7 years of just going to the gym and just doing a routine that like I'd come up with myself. Like I'd switch it up, but like gym got boring. Like I had to do things that would mentally like be tough for me, like running, like more functional fitness, like doing competitions or races and stuff like that, like things that were actually challenging. I feel like that gave me a lot of purpose, genuinely.
I feel like you get some funny thoughts like when you've been to the gym for a while, like especially when you're boxing. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's the testosterone or what, but like after a few weeks of being in the gym, you'll be walking through the mall and you get these horrible, weird little thoughts, and you've just got to control it in your mind. But like,
if anyone looks at me,
like, you can be in an elevator. You can be in an elevator, and there's like six guys in the elevator.
Went off now,
you're looking at someone's chin, and you're thinking, "I wonder what would happen if I hit him. I wonder what would happen if I just hit him now." And it's because you've been going to. It's the levels of testosterone.
You know, bro, I can't say it's the level of extent again, like you, but I did have some boxing lessons. I'm a small dude, and the guy that I was training with was 6'2", quite heavy, yeah, and he goes, "Fuck me, I've never ever felt somebody your size hit the way that you hit." He goes, "Anybody that's 18 stone, you could spark him." Guess. When the next day I'm walking, I'm thinking,
I'm the bollocks.
You know what?
I'm the bollocks.
I never used to back myself in that, but if he came and I swung,
aim is the same.
And I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy.
No. It's what it does to you. It makes you feel good. I don't know if it's an alpha male thing or what, but that's why I love boxing. I like being able to I know myself and just. It's just nice, and I think it's just the best sport out there. The fittest athletes in the world are boxers.
I think it's a capable thing as well. When you feel capable, it's like, who can stop me then?
But you've got to think, when you're eating right and you're training twice a day, and you're doing circuits and then blows and then 15-round sparring and stuff like that, you've got to think how fit you are. Do you understand? You can fight for 45 minutes straight, no breaks. You just feel like. That's what it's about. You know that if anything comes your way, you can run fast, you can run far, you can keep going until you feel sick.
I thought I was fit because we were training every single day. Yeah. CrossFit, functional weights, runs, bikes, football, and I went and did 3 rounds. Not even sparring, just pads. Yeah. I was blowing.
Blowing. You burn more calories boxing and doing burpees than anything. I swear burpees burn more calories per minute exercise than anything. Trust me, try it.
I want to, you brought up testosterone and all these things that kind of, it's led on nicely to like male society today. And I feel like how a lot has changed. And I just kind of want to hear your opinion on like everything, like being...
That's another reason why I ran off from the UK, because I don't agree with what they're teaching in schools.
The left and the right. That's the best way for me to describe it.
I just don't agree with what
I don't even think it's left and right. I think it's just what's right and what's just really wrong.
I feel that... do you believe in God? Do you believe in God? So...
We're Christian Orthodox,
so
baptized
into... So so you understand that there's a clear evil in this world. So you can see murder happening. You can see rape. Mm-hmm. See all these evil things. So there's clearly an equal opposite to that. There's pure good. If you can see the pure evil, there's definitely pure good. And that is God. It's Allah. So when you see things that kind of, in my view, this is just my opinion, don't kill me in the comments, but when you kind of see things that kind of stop people from practicing faith or living in a halal way, it's 100% the devil. So in my mind, anything that kind of teaches young boys that they can cut the dick off before the age of 12 and teach people that they can have multiple partners, and instead of living in a marriage and respecting women and protecting women and having children, I think it's all there to dismantle society and to also pull people away from the path from religion, because anyone that kind of enters into that world will have a clear disagreement with faith, with Islam or Christianity, because it teaches the opposite, and they can't accept that because they are now part of that community. So I think it's just designed to like pull people off from an early age. So I just don't agree with it. I think that you're very impressionable as kids. You know how emotional we were growing up when you're a kid. You make bad decisions, you do dumb shit, you do things for attention. There's a reason why there's emos at the age of 13 because they're emotionally
I
unstable.
think that's the main thing, the attention.
How many emos do you know that are 30, 40? There aren't any. They're all kids, they're teenagers, because they're going through an emotional change in their life. And those kids that are emotionally unstable are very impressionable, and they will do things for attention.
This is literally like...
cut your dick off. Do you understand?
That's the thing.
So, and I think that anyone that's pushing that down those kids' throats and not kind of teaching, so it's clearly an agenda. They're not teaching young men and young girls, get married, pick a good partner, live a good life, be entrepreneurial, strive for the more, be the best that you can be, always live with faith. What they're teaching is it's okay to what was the there was something in the papers the other month. It was a guy that's now a woman that was breastfeeding a child, which was weird for me because the child's not getting anything out of it.
Yeah.
Only she is. The guy, girl, cauliflower, whatever he wants to.
Literally.
And they were getting something out of it. And it was part of a program that they're trying to create to help trans women feel inclusive of motherhood. And do you know what's funny about it? Do you know what his job was? He advised the government.
It's not a coincidence.
So that kind of says it all.
It's the thing that's
a control
disgusting.
thing. I think it's a control thing.
I think the thing that's the most disgusting is like you have to be 18 to go and drink alcohol. You have to be 16 to have sex, or you have to be 16 to go and buy a fucking energy drink. But
And you
like
can't get a Red Bull, but you can cut off your cock.
Yeah, and an 8-year-old can go and make possibly the biggest decision of their life and put different hormones into themselves and change absolutely everything.
They can't go back either. They can't go back.
It's all an agenda.
Surely, is that a fact? Can they not go back?
Once you cut your cock off, you can't sew it back on, can you?
No, I'm just, what about like the hormones? Because they start with hormones.
They can try, but obviously your body and your mind.
Yeah, then you'll be messed up. Yeah,
you know, a lot of them as they're getting older are realizing it's a bad decision because it's just trending, isn't it? So, for example,
do you need to take that?
For example, you know, like tattoos. I've got a tattoo on the side from before reverted, but you know, like tattoos. You know, like you see these guys with old white guys. They've got tribal tattoos. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no one really gets them nowadays because they're out of fashion. But that's stuck with them, imprinted with them, and half of them will regret it because it was just part of a trend. Yeah, a lot of these girls when they're getting BBLs and the tits done and stuff, trying to look like Kim K. It was all part of a trend. Back in the 90s, 60s, they were pin-up girls. Slim, tall, thin girls. 70s started to get fake boobs and stuff. 90s, hip-hop came around, 80s, 90s, and everyone wanted curves. Kim K came in and they all want all this work done. Yeah,
but now it's even starting to come out.
Exactly. Now they're all wanting to get rid of the BBLs and stuff because they're
dissolve your lips
they're realising that it was all part of a trend and they don't really like it. So it's the same with this, the LGBTQI neutroid spaceship community. But what's happening
it's true though.
What's happening is they're pushing it as a trend on social media, especially TikTok. I'll tell you a story about that in a second, and schools. And what's happening is that later down the line, a lot of these children, especially the emos and stuff, later down the line, they're going to regret it because they were following a trend that they thought they were going to get attention from, like the girls with the BBL. You understand? But just moving back to TikTok. Need to go?
No.
Just moving back to TikTok. So my brother, like I told you, he's got the mind of a 9-year-old. So when he uses the internet, he's using it through the eyes of a child. So the algorithm will assume that he's a kid because he behaves in the world of in the way of a 9-year-old. TikTok was showing him sexual content, showing him transgenders, writing fan signs on them man boobs and stuff, weird stuff, weird shit. And I tried to put restrictions on his account, but it still kind of showed it him. So I had to take him off TikTok. Do you understand? So that shows that social media is pushing it on kids.
I don't see that stuff on mine.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything like that in my life.
It was a man dressed up as a woman with a wig on, with fake tits that was writing fan signs here. They were dressed, but sexual content. Do you know what I'm saying? Weird stuff. My brother obviously doesn't know any better. He was gifting him roses. So I had to, I had to take it off him. I had to take it quickly. So yeah, there's clearly an agenda and it's definitely designed to kind of pull people off the deen.
What do you think about the like traditional household, like for the dynamic for a mother and a father, a man and a woman at home?
So,
or do you not agree with that? You don't have to.
No. So yeah, of course I agree with it. So in Islam it teaches us that whatever a man can provide, a woman must sustain. But also the reverse is true. So whatever a woman could sustain, a man has to provide for. So by that, what I mean is, if you want to create an empire and build all this, she has to be able to sustain it at home, and sustain the kids, and manage all the back end, so you can focus on the front end, the money, sales.
Do the hard stuff.
Do the hard stuff. But it's also hard for the woman. So that's why I said the reverse is true, because if she wants the big house, if she wants this, if her mother needs support, whatever needs to happen, you need to go out and get it. So whatever they can sustain, you must provide for, but also whatever you can provide for, they must sustain. So I think that having a marriage, and men and women, they go hand in hand. We were created for each other.
It's a value exchange, isn't it?
Value exchange.
It's the best partnership in the world.
It's an exchange of energy. Whatever you give, you must also, whatever you take, you must also give back. And whatever you give to the world, you'll receive. And it works the same in the household. I think that anything shy of that is kind of dismantling society. I think that if you've not got that in a household, you end up with kids like me that do a load of horrible shit. And I'm probably one of the 1% that kind of surface. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you want to kind of reduce crime, reduce shootings, reduce all this badness, what happens, and you want to create good young men and women, there definitely needs to be kind of a 2-parent household where values and good morals are instilled into them.
I actually said this when we came here within the first week. We went to the mall, and the closest thing to the mall in Birmingham is the Bull Ring. You go to the Bull Ring, you'll see big groups of boys, 6, 7, 8, all in tracksuits that look intimidating and look like they're up to no good. You don't get that here.
No.
You don't get that here. And I said to H, I think a massive part of it is the religion, but it's also because they are not, I wasn't going to say stereotypical, but like they're traditional in the way that they live out here. It's respectful. The kids all looked happy. They're all dressed decently. They all are they're kind and polite. And at home, they don't come from those types of households where that's normal. So that's why.
So the reason why a lot of the kids gallivant the streets is because they're not happy at home. They're not in happy households where they can sit and chill with the dad.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Watch football, things like that. So like,
even if they're falling over for no reason.
Over here, you'll notice. Do you know what's actually funny about Dubai? To say that I ran off to come here. You know what's funny? All the world's criminals are in Dubai, but yeah, it's the safest place in the world. And the reason for that is because they all have to behave. Because if you do one thing, you put your foot out of line, you try and shoot someone here and you're gone. You're in the desert, mate. You're gone. You disappear. You're in the jail. I was going to say, you're getting fed an orange and a bit of bread a day in a cell with no aircon with 20 other guys.
People are scared of consequences here.
Consequences. There's no
someone
rule.
That we know over here. He is someone that he knew, stuck his fingers up like in a bit of road rage, and he got put in prison for 30 days.
Yeah, Emirati. So like if you come here and you want to build, that's what I love about this country, and I think England should have been the same. You come here, you want to build. It is literally the land of opportunity, but it's not like America, because America's a fallacy. If you want to build, you can have everything. But if you want to come and fuck around, you're gone. They're bringing national service back in here as well. Well, they just brought it back in, so when kids turn 16, they have to join the military for 18 months. All kids are taught jiu-jitsu in schools as well.
They do that in Cyprus, by the way.
Yeah. So by the time you're 18, you've got that resilience, you've got that discipline and stuff. When they kind of got rid of that in the UK, if you notice, all our granddads and our grandmothers were together for years. No one broke up. If something were broke back in those days, you had to fix it. Yeah. You couldn't go out and buy something new. That was the same with relationships. If it was broken, you fixed it.
Do you think that's because you can see so much more, what you don't have?
Yeah.
And then you only saw your surroundings.
Yeah. They come from a different background as well. And like I say, all the men were disciplined, and they were taught discipline, and all the women were taught you look after the men. And that's why they've got beautiful relationships. Like man and granddad, beautiful. But I think that what happened is the generation after that was that fault. It created a bunch of kids that, not everyone, but it created a bunch of single mother households, single parent households, which created kids like me that had to kind of go out and graft, and a lot of them still haven't surfaced. So I think, 2-parent households, discipline.
I think one thing that people get twisted as well is in those situations where statistically it's the woman that wants to leave. And it's something like 50% of marriages now. I can't remember what year it was, but they end up in divorce. But I think what people...
Do you know why that is?
Why?
Because everyone gets married now. Do you know marriage? You know, if you're not religious, no point in getting married. a marriage is a sacred ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
Marriage is you do it for God. You don't do it for each other. You do it for Allah first or God first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? And you do it for each other secondary, because it's obligatory. If you want to be with a woman and you want to take care of that woman, marry her. If you want to be with a woman you want to have sex with, marry her. Do you know what I'm saying? Take care of the women. And if a girl wants to be with a guy and feels that she has got love towards him and she wants to take care of him, marry him. It's for God first. So, and the thing is with marriage, when you marry someone, it's no longer two people. You're now one.
Mm-hmm.
So you can no longer think as a singular unit. Like in terms of yourself, you have to think as a collective. So like whatever she needs, you've got to provide. Whatever your needs, she has to fulfill. You can't. When people get divorced, it's because they've gone into the marriage getting married for themselves, to put on a dinner for their mates and take a few photos for Instagram, and then feel like they've completed life because society tells you that after you've been seeing someone for 3 years, you have to get married and tick off the box. And when shit starts to hit the fan, like I said, people are there in the good times, but they're not there in the bad. When shit starts to hit the fan for the men financially sometimes, because it does happen, like not everything's like squeaky clean. Life's like the weather, you have to go through the seasons. And when that happens, a lot of women want to leave because they're not getting what they're married for. Do you understand? And also, a lot of men sell dreams as well, so that doesn't really help. And men cheat.
That's the men's fault, though.
Yeah, and men cheat as well. So that's another reason. But a lot of men cheat because a lot of women can't hold men down. That's a fact.
I think
they cheat. Okay, well, I can't speak on behalf of all men and say they cheat because they don't just want to go and get their dick wet, because that's probably why a lot of people do. But like you said, if you're content with your relationship, if there's real love, yeah, exactly.
Why would you cheat? You'd be too scared.
Exactly. Well, because guilt. Why would I lose the person that gives me so much?
Even the guilt, because this is the thing. If men can do it, women can do it. And the minute a man does it, he'll be thinking in the back of his mind, "Fuck, I've done it," so she'll definitely do it. Do you understand? So like, yeah,
and I feel like
a lot of people get divorced because it's an atheist society, and the Church of England kind of made it all right, because in Catholicism it's not really all right. In Islam it's not really all right. But King Henry VIII decided to create his own church and break away just to create divorce, to make it okay. So I feel that, yeah, a lot of people get married nowadays for the wrong reasons. But if you truly get married for God and you get married to a girl that's God-fearing, I think she'll hold you down a lot of the time as well when you're being a dickhead.
Do you want to know what it is for me? Yeah. I grew up with my mum and dad at home, traditional household. Dad would go out, breadwinner, make sure everything's good. Something was wrong, he'd go and handle it. My mum taking care of us at home day till night whilst my dad was grafting. And like you're saying about like when they can't fulfill, I wouldn't say that my dad like did it by choice, but my dad probably went through, I can explain it to you properly after, I don't really want to say it on here, but my dad probably went through the hardest possible thing that he's been through in his life a few years ago. And like my mum was there like through the trenches for my dad, doing things that I don't think many women at all would possibly even be like, yeah, I'd do that for my man. And I saw it day in, day out for years. Fucking hell, I'm getting fucking choked.
She's God-fearing.
But it's like growing up and seeing that, it's like, I will not settle for less. There's no possible outcome where I do not settle for. My mom's like, she'll always say to me, she's like, you won't find a woman like me. I'm like, I fucking like, well, I've got a girl now. And it's like, she came into the apartment, bro, and like, she's cleaning up, making sure that everything's straight. Like, I won't settle for less for how my mom and my dad interact with each other on a daily basis. And they don't do things for each other a lot of the time. It's for us, the kids. It's like they're first. And that's the way that I view marriage and a relationship should be. Mm-hmm. It's not about, when there's kids involved especially, it's not about you and the other person anymore. It's about for the kids. Mm-hmm. Genuinely.
It's a fact.
Fucking hell.
No, it's a fact. No, it's a fact. It's a fact. And that's what I'm saying. Nowadays, people, everything's so disposable. People think that you can go on Instagram and just replace people. They fall into that trap that's the word, thinking that everyone's replaceable. But no two people are the same, so no one's replaceable. And a lot of these girls nowadays, like I said, you can split up with them and then all they've got to do is post a picture in a bikini. The DMs are full of dick. Do you get what I'm saying? But whereas in our parents' time and our grandparents' time, there wasn't any of that. For example, if you look at pictures of your grandmother, it's the pictures of a woman in such a like nice dress. It's a bit of a black and white modest. Do you know what our grandkids are going to see of their grandmothers? Oh shit! This is a picture of my nana twerking in Mykonos. Do you get what I'm saying?
I went to the beach with my nan in Cyprus. The last time I went, I can't remember what it was. Me and my mum, my nan and my granddad, we woke up every morning. We were going to the beach like 7 a.m. And my nan on the first day that we were going, she's like, I'm embarrassed to go to the beach like this. And she was wearing like a full-on swimming costume with a big hat so no one could see it. Like, she was like, I mean, like me back in the day, like I would have been judged to go to the beach like this. And she was wearing like the most like unrevealing thing possible to go to the beach. It's a different
time, bro. It's a different time.
Women were modest, men were grafters. I think that the world needs to flip. I think there needs to be a serious flip to send it back like that.
I think we're
on the way.
that
was the natural order. I don't think the natural order is at play at the minute. How can anything be natural when people are teaching the kids that they can cut their own dick off?
But I think that this whole woke society has triggered the people that are so strongly against it to be more against it.
Yeah, they're not woke anyway. Like, they're not woke.
But do you know what I'm saying?
No, but that's what it's called.
When they call it woke, this is what I'm saying. These are all terms to kind of throw you off. So how can you be woke if you're not awake?
Yeah, no. Well, I completely agree with you. That's just the term that people know the type of people we're talking about. But
there's a saying in Islam that some people, the eyes and the ears are covered, and those are the people that are not awake. They're ignorant, and they won't wake up a lot of the time. So, and that's the woke society. They're covered. They don't want to hear anything other than what their agenda is and what they believe in. That's it. Yeah.
It's also a defensive mindset.
Defensive mindset. Yeah. They're just covered. They're scared. They're covered. You try and tell them that something. Like, for example, nobody in the world is right. You can only be true to yourself. You know that? What's dictated as right is by the masses. If enough people say that's true, then it becomes true all of a sudden. So, for example, if everybody said that Father Christmas was real, suddenly it's real. Yeah? So what's dictated as true is through like a mass collective of thought, but you can only actually be true to yourself. So that's what they do. They kind of tell you that it's right. It's not. If it's not right for me, it's not right.
Well, no opinion's truly yours. Every opinion comes from somewhere,
yeah.
regardless of what you think.
Yeah. So these people, they're covered. They're not woke. If they were awake, they'd understand that this is dunya, and they're attached to the dunya, and they'll have to answer for it, because we all have to answer for our sins.
Well,
I think this is a beautiful place to end the podcast. Honestly,
just quickly before we do,
don't kill me in the comments.
Just quickly before we do,
I don't hate gay people. I just don't agree with it.
People can do what they want with their life, but I don't think it's right for the young ages being.
Do what you want with your life. Just do not start trying to jab your dick in my kid's face, because I will kill you. That's it.
Before we go, me and H can both say that we took so much value from our conversation last week. To the young entrepreneurial kid that's at home, that is thinking about starting to chase their dreams, or to start a business, or to jump outside of the box, or they're tied in on that 9-to-5 job, but they are a creative,
or even to save themselves.
Yeah,
from a situation like yours.
What can you say to them in a short segment? What's your message to that person?
As quickly as possible. You need 3 main people in your life. You need a coach, you need a mentor, and you need a sponsor. So a coach and a mentor are different. A coach is there every step of the way to tell you what's going wrong and where you're going wrong and where you're going right. A mentor is someone that's there at every milestone to help you kind of improve. So see a coach as the road that you're on, and see a mentor as the signs that are kind of telling you where to go. And a sponsor is someone that is in the rooms that you can't be in, that's bigging you up, that's putting you in the right places. So yeah, try and find those 3 people, and just live your life through your gift. Pick what you're good at, and then model your business around that. Find the problem that you can solve, and solve it. That's it. And just keep going for it. Never give up.
What a man.
Thank you so much, man, for the episode.
Yeah.
I've actually really enjoyed this. It was wicked.
I have been all right, innit?
Well, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you know the score, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn the bell notification on so you get notified every time we release a podcast. And we will see you guys next week.
Love, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Khalid, thank you as well.
Peace.